Alright, hi, what's up? I'm Lonely, and this is going to be my commentary of my new Requiem Maria All Bosses PB. So, a few things before we start. This is a different Maria than the one you would see in a Sega Saturn run. This Maria has a completely different set of moves and is way more similar to Richter than she is to Saturn Maria. So, that is worth noting. This is played on PS4 on the Requiem version, hence the name Requiem Maria. And yeah, time starts on movement. So, we'll count down there. So right away, the air dash is the most important thing in this run. Allows you to move quickly through the air, but you never want to do one on the ground if possible, because there's a long end lag. Here I'm going to pick up these hearts. Oh, small movement mistakes. The reason I didn't reset that is because the first 2 minutes of this run are what we call the clock rush. It's also what allows me to pick up those hearts without losing any time. Basically, there's this room in the center of the castle that's like the clock tower room, and there's statues on it that open on the minute, and I basically need to get there before 2 minutes pass so I can make the 2-minute statue opening. If you've seen any Soden runs before, it's probably a concept you're really familiar with. Alucard has the 7 or 8 minute clock rush, depending on if you're on luck mode or not. And I believe Richter also makes this 2-minute clock rush in his all bosses run. It's much tighter for Maria than it is for Richter, though. A good clock rush gets there at about like 150, and that's if you play really well. I think this run will get like a 153 or something. So ideally you make it there at like that 153, so you have time to farm parts. Oh, cool strat there to pick up the sub-weapon. Which brings me to sub-weapons. There's 4 or 5 that Maria can use, but I'm only going to be using 2 in this run, because they're the only 2 that are worth using. The Fanebird and the Dragon, which is the white wing thing. So you can see here, waiting for the statue to open. It opens at 2 minutes. So yeah, the Dragon is just really useful. It has a huge hitbox, and you can multi-hit with it, which I'll get into later. And then the Firebird has a special you can use that is very powerful. I used it on Slugman and Gaibon. I need to be very careful to never accidentally special while I have my dragon equipped, though. Kind of a special thing in this mode is you can have 2 sub-weapons equipped at once, and you can swap between them with the press of a button. Because the dragon special costs 50 hearts and is completely useless. So if I ever accidentally press special while I have dragon on, it's a huge loss. So coming up into our first real involved boss fight here is All Rocks. I'm going to be doing a manipulation strategy where I run away from him. And then wail on him with, this is the Firebird regular attack. I don't use it too much throughout the run, but it can be useful on some bosses. Again, run away from him so he does this attack where he stands still. And then he jumps back, hit him a few times. And that should knock him into phase 2. In phase 2, I'm going to do 2 fire specials combined with a few dragons. This laser is extremely deadly. If I got hit there, I definitely would have died. And that's all right. So something really important about this one is the heart routing. I entered that fight with 99 hearts and I left with 20. Because Maria has such a lower power level than all the other characters, she has to use a lot of hearts to kill many of these bosses. Thankfully there's a 30 heart pickup right there. So I can make that a good amount of what I spent on that fight. I'm already back at 65. So yeah, heart routing is going to be really important, especially in second castle as the bosses get stronger. If Here I'm going to do some somersaults. These are done by doing the Richter blade dash input of up, down, down, forward, attack. You can kind of cheat the input by doing just like a 3/4 circle forward, but it's still pretty tricky to do. I guess worth noting is I do play on arcade stick for this run, because I find it easier to chain air dashes. So on this fight is going to be the first really important example of screen scrolling. Basically, if you can scroll the screen to move the dragon, if you can get multiple hits in. It's kind of a weird quirk in Soden. If you've ever seen like the a la carte glitchless runs, they do the same thing with the shield rod special that they use in that run. And then a dive kick will kill these axe knights. Did get hit by one on accident, not a huge deal. Need to open up this fort for later. The first castle route in this is basically the same as Richter all bosses. In fact, most of the second castle route is the same too. There's just one minor difference later on. Karasuman, really simple fight, gonna log him into the corner, and then just cast 8 Firebird attacks. Need to wait for him to dip down so he doesn't get too high, and avoid my attacks. So I guess it's an okay time to talk about this weird perk of the I almost called it Dominus, the Requiem version of this game, which is that when Maria hits a load zone, so like any screen transition, there's kind of a weird glitch where she just kind of hits it like a wall and instantly stops. This glitch is not on the other version you can play. Nice. Not on the other version you can play this Maria on, the Dracula X Chronicles version. Which leads me to believe that DXC is a lot faster, but I just wanted to get this time on Requiem because it's what I like playing on. Maybe someday I'll come for a better time on DXC. So I picked up a heart there. I need to be very careful to not get sniped, because those gunshots do a ton of damage. Like, it definitely would have... I think it would have been close to killing me, if not killing me at this HP. It's kind of another frustrating thing about this category, is because there's no HP like numbers, it's just a bar. You kind of have to estimate how much things are going to do to you, and if you'll live certain hits or not. So I hit these flea armors with a dragon, which temporarily locks them in place. Then I do a screen scroll on the lesser demon to get 4 hits on him quickly, and I got the quick kill, which is very, very nice. Killing him before he goes into his invincible phase is pretty tricky, and also RNG based, so it's really good to get that quick kill. So yeah, just leaving library here. And then we're going to make our way to Doppel 10. Surprisingly, Doppel 10, I guess it's not that surprising if you know anything about this game, but Doppel 10 only activates if you go into its room from the left side. But 4 dragons will take him out pretty quickly, and there's a manipulation strategy I do where I jump, and that makes him jump. Yeah, 8:34 Doppel 10 is not a fantastic time. I've had like 5 seconds better, but it's not the worst either. So long hallway here. Not much to say other than I'm counting my dashes to know when the next enemy is going to come up. So I do make a small mistake there. I need to open the underground. Thankfully Maria does not need Jewel of Open like a la carte does. small thing is when you're opening those doors as Maria, you have a 1 frame window where you can input a dash. Thankfully, you can just hold the dash button to buffer it. Oh, and I guess door skips are worth talking about. Yeah, Maria does not care about doors. If you dash at a door at a certain vertical distance, you can simply just dash through it and hit the load trigger. It's kind of a really weird thing and also really finicky. So coming up is going to be the only like zip glitch of the entire run. It's going to be the classic Soten trick Scylla zip. So basically by standing on the right edge of this platform and then waiting until a certain point in the death animation, I can unload the door, and when I re-enter the room, the door will push me down, and I can skip the backtrack out of Scylla's area. Doesn't save a ton of time as Maria, because her air dash is so fast, but it is still worth it to go for, especially if you get the quick zip, which I got a medium zip there, so it probably still save time. So coming up here is Frogs. Frogs is probably the biggest run killer of First Castle. They love to jump around randomly. When I was running this before, I was doing a strat where you don't reload this room, but I lost way too many runs to it this grind, so I just decided to say screw it and reloaded the room, even if it's like a second or two faster, or slower. So yeah, gotta lure the skeleton ape over. Get the door skip. This run is doing really good on hearts, by the way. Above 90 going into Cerberus is really good. Cerberus is simple fight. Don't want to get too close to him because that'll make him do his multi-hit attack, which is really, really deadly. Thankfully he goes down to a special and a few dragons. This room is one I've optimized since my last PB. Love that drop. It's so hard to do well, but when you get it, it feels really good. So a big thing here is I really want to be at 99 hearts going into second castle. Because I need to spend a lot of hearts in second castle. But I have it ratted out pretty good, where you will just get to 99 hearts, or should be close to 99 hearts every time. Even with skipping this heart right here, which is dangerous to grab. So coming up here is going to be Grand Falloon. I have to not call him Legion every time. We can't do the screen scroll trick because this room is too big, or I guess he's too big, rather. But he goes down to a special and 2 dragons anyway. Having 30 hearts here is really good because it means I can skip grabbing the heart in that room. Which saves the time I just lost by getting hit by that guy. There's a 30 heart max up here. And then dash over this guy is really tight, but you know, we make it work. So I have 60 hearts right here, and there's a 30 right before I enter second castle. So grabbing that puts me at 66. And I missed the door skip there. You can see sometimes it just kind of fails, depending on, I guess, your exact, like, vertical position. I get hit by that gremlin. Unfortunate. But, I really want to enter second castle with full health as well, because the first segment is extremely scary. It's probably the biggest run killer in the entire run. Worth noting, you could do outside keep here and save like a second, but it's kind of risky because you can get hit and just lose all that time instantly. Also on this version, standing to enter the second castle is extremely precise for some reason. There's only a few pixels you can stand on. Have it work. But now we are in second castle. I guess something I haven't mentioned yet is that this bird lift move is a fighting game input. It's the same as gravity boots or Richter uppercut. It's down, up, jump. So every time I do a bird lift, I have to do that series of inputs. There I missed the door skip because I was too close to it horizontally. So not only does your vertical position have to be correct, but your horizontal position as well. Really good Darkwing Bat fight. There I take advantage of the fact that dragons spawn slightly behind Maria. Which allowed me to get an extra hit in on Darkwing Bat, which is a new thing I'm doing. So on these nights, I do a damage stack glitch. Unlike other damage stacks, which work by glitching out hitboxes, this one, your doves just kind of have a glitched interaction with knight type enemies, where if you hit them at their shoulder joint, for some reason it's glitched out and does damage on every frame, but only with doves. I really don't know why. It's one of the weird things about this game. Apparently you can crash the game on DXC, which is another reason I haven't done runs on that version yet. But I've never had a crash for me on PS4. This climb is extremely tricky. Especially when the game just clips you down for no reason. I am amazed I didn't die here. Even still. Ooh, that hard drop is really good. I forgot I got that. So yeah, not the best climb ever, but that segment's really difficult. So the creature's going to roll along on the ground, and I can manipulate screen scrolls along with the position of the dragon to get 5 hits on him, ideally, per cycle. HP refill here. Also, the doors and outer wall are glitched. I forgot to mention this in first castle, but it applies in both castles. For some reason, you can't do door skips on outer wall doors. They literally just, even if you dash right past them, it still plays the full animation. Alright, small hesitation in that room, but that room's really scary. Those golden skulls will do, like, almost half, I think more than half, actually, my HP. That bird lift is extremely precise. You only have a few frames to do it, so that was really good. Kind of makes up for the bad climb earlier. And coming up is going to be Doppel 10, or sorry, Doppel 40. I know how to count. So I do a manipulation strategy where I jump, and that makes him jump at me. Sometimes it doesn't work though, and he will just do gravity boots. I think he does do it in this run. Yeah. I can dodge the following attack by just doing that though. That movement there. And then I think he cooperates for the rest of the fight. This is one thing I don't have like 100% consistent on yet. Just because he sometimes weirdly escapes. It's also really good I didn't get hit because I can skip the health here. And coming up is going to be the hallway that I affectionately call Hell Hallway, because you just lose so many runs here because of these blue Venus Weed type enemies. Thankfully, there's the Rock Knight damage glitch, so I can take care of them quickly. Without that, I literally do not know how I would do this hallway. But yeah, the blue Venus Weed does a ton of damage, and if you get hit by her Sprout attack, you're basically just dead, because her follow-up attack will do the rest of your HP. Alright, this is where everybody looks away. Definitely don't make a huge mistake in this room. You're supposed to lift from the ground, otherwise you get hit by that enemy. And then I overjumped and got hit. Oh my god. Thankfully these guys don't do that much damage, and I knew to stand still there so I didn't get knocked back. So that was a good call. I've never gotten hit by that Sluggo in my entire life before now. And then I messed this up too. This dash is really precise. These platforms are deceptively, like, hard to grab onto. And then this climb is... This part is the part that was killing all my runs, but I think it actually went fine-ish here. Okay, never mind. Oh my god. Okay, well, that was atrocious, but, we made it through without dying. So I actually need to farm hearts here. Probably the only certain category that will ever farm hearts. But I absolutely need 99 entering Galamoth. You may notice that I'm pretty close to Galamoth, but there's still 3 minutes left on this segment. I would have died if I got hit there, by the way, so that was super risky. But after the mistake, I kind of just didn't care. These frozen halves can ruin your day and freeze you, which is why I take time to kill them. So I need to make sure I have 99 hearts entering Galamoth. Because I do a stun lock strategy with the flame, which you'll see here. This takes a while. Galamoth has 6,666 HP. I'm doing 64 per hit times 3 per hit is like what? 180 plus 4 times 3, 12. So what? 192 per cast. Which, spoilers, is not enough to kill him. So I have to finish him off with birds, which takes forever. So yeah, this is a nice time to go grab a drink of water, grab a snack, because this takes a while. And it's just me hitting him over and over again. I guess I can talk about the heart route, because that's going to be relevant pretty soon. Basically, there's a heart max to the right of this room. I call them heart maxes, but they don't actually max out your hearts in this mode. They just give you 30 hearts. So I'm going to be grabbing that, plus I left the one on the backtrack in Floating Catacombs. A small note here is I'm switching to birds. I'm also jumping, so I get a better chance of hitting his head hitbox rather than the body hitbox, which only takes 1 tick of damage. But I will need to farm hearts because I need as many as possible for the final areas, because they have a lot of difficult bosses that require multiple specials to kill. So yeah, I have to wail on them with birds for a while. Do get a few 1 ticks here, which loses like a second or 2 each time I get it. But what are you gonna do? The real important thing is I don't let him escape the stun lock. we go. Finally, he goes down. And like I said, I'm gonna dip off to this room to the right to get a heart max up. Whiff on the frozen half there. I thankfully know to not cast him again immediately, because she will always do that ice entrapment. So I played that correctly. And then I'm gonna fill up to, I think, full here. No, 96, which makes, yeah, that makes sense, because I can get the one in reverse, chapel. So finally gonna warp back to that warp I opened at the beginning of Inverted Castle. So far this has all been following the Richter All Bosses route in terms of just general where we're going. But I am going to be deviating from it a little soon for reasons that I'll get into. These tombstones die in one hit from a somersault. But doing the somersault input when you're on pace is hard when you're bad at it like me, so that was a major run killer. Speaking of run killer rooms, everything in Floating Catacombs, or not Floating Catacombs, Inverse Chapel is really hard. These like tight corridors. That was Medusa by the head. By the head. By the way, these I abuse screen scrolling on Medusa. These tight corridors are completely free for Richter, but for Maria, they're some of the hardest parts of the entire run. Just because dashing over these balloons is very tight. We can also dash over the Panthers, but it's way more difficult than I'm willing to do after Galamoth 25 minutes into a 30-minute all bosses run. I also fell in that balloon room there, which is really a shame. That's something I haven't failed in quite a long time. So, doing dragons in that room to get rid of the Cthulhu. They do have to double hit to kill the Cthulhu. Excuse me. Then we have Aquadon, goes down to 1 special. And a few doves. Thankfully the doves do considerable damage to him. I do have to be careful with my spacing here though to not get hit by the poison gas. So here is where the route's gonna diverge from Richter All Bosses. Richter would go back to Inverse Chapel, but and then go to Arena from there. But shout out to Talic Zealot who gave me this idea of going kind of left and around instead. This is better for Maria because she gets to get the well, first off, she doesn't, as you're gonna see, she doesn't have a great way of making it through the Minotaurs. So that's really slow for her. But she also gets a full heart refill because of the heart max up room in Colosseum. You'll see what I mean shortly. We do have to do 2 scary rooms though. First is this one, which I came up with this slide strat for. That's a pretty cool room. And then this room with the invisible sword. Every time I make it through there, I'm like, how did I not get hit? So yeah, we get a full heart refill here from the 2 heart max ups. And then we are into CV3 trio. So that's the cool thing about this category, is you go that way, which a lot of Soden categories wouldn't go. So fake trio, gonna be abusing the fire special and dragon screen scrolling. Get rid of all of them. I accidentally throw another dragon there. So I thought Trevor was still alive. But, whatever. Speaking of dragons, it's the only way Maria has to get through these Minotaurs reliably. I think you could do a jump somersault over the first one, but it would be really hard. And the Minotaurs do a ton of damage. So even though it's slow, you do just have to kill them. Because that's one thing Richter really has over Maria, is his like attacks have hitboxes on them. Whereas Maria's uppercut and dash both do not have a hitbox on them. This room is really hard. I think it went pretty well in this room. Yeah, I had to do an extra cast there. But these guys are trying to snipe you constantly. It's just a mess. If you try and go through this without... It looks slow to just, like... cast like that, but if you try and go through without casting, you will just get infinite comboed and die. So second to last boss here, Beelzebub. I got hit by nothing there, which was awesome. I guess a fly, yeah, the flies. And then go up here and cast a special. And this kills 95% of the time, which thankfully it killed this run too. I've had it not kill sometimes, which really sucks. But what are you gonna do? This hallway is evil. I tried to slide there to get through the gremlin, but like that. But for some reason it just didn't work on the first one. This invisible room is really satisfying to do correctly. Unfortunately, I slide off to the left here, but I do get the hole in one. So there's that. I take this room safe because I will die if I hit the gold skull there. And then this room, which I've never choked a run in, and I didn't start today, so that's good. So again, I need to farm hearts for the final boss. It's basically impossible to kill him with only doves. I also take a slight hesitation there, because there's actually a soft lock where you can enter the clock cutscene, and then fall down into the hole, and it just soft locks you. It's really unfortunate if it happens on a good run. They put like a wall there to try and prevent it from happening, but it can still happen if you enter the cutscene with enough momentum. It's a really weird thing. But yeah, all that's left now is to kill Shaft. That killed the 32, by the way. So I enter. Gonna do 2 fire specials, combined with a few dragons, should be enough to kill him. I kinda do throw away a few seconds. Cool thing here is I abuse the invincibility of the special to go through that fire. I completely whiff a dragon here, and I thought the run was over when that happened. But thankfully I was able to clutch it out. So kind of scary, but at the end I did end up finishing at exactly 33 minutes. A few sloppy parts. I could definitely see this going as low as like a 32, like 2x. Maybe a 31 on DXC, which again saves time because of the weird room transition glitch. But yeah, shouts to everyone who runs Soten and has been supportive of me running this category. Well, there's Madeline who ran this category originally, and then I was the one who really picked it up and optimized a lot of the things. I was able to drop the record from a 45, and now it's 33, as you can see. But yeah, shouts to Talik Zealot, who gave me a lot of routing ideas, and then the whole Soten community for just being great. And yeah, shoutouts to my friends, and shoutouts to you, the viewer, for watching. I will just let the credits play now.